people, how's it going? Welcome to another video. So, about 2 years ago, I did a video on Maiden where I talked about my least favorite song and most favorite song from every album in their entire discography. Well, I thought today, let's do the same thing, but this time we'll do it with the Kings of Thrash. We'll do it with Metallica. You know, they're a band that all of us know. We don't need to re-listen to any of these albums to just know which ones are our favorites and which ones are our least favorites. So I reckon we'll just get straight into it. It's a quick and easy video. I thought it'd be fun to get some controversial opinions out there. It's always a good time when that happens. So before we get started, let me know down below what your favorite songs are and least favorite songs are off each and every Metallica album. We're not doing Garage Inc. and we're not doing Lulu, so that cancels out those two. But we're doing everything from Kill 'Em All the way up to 72 Seasons. Should be a good time. But yeah, let's get started with coming in first at, well, it's not a countdown, is it? Let's come in first with Kill 'Em All. So yeah, first up, 1983, we had the debut Kill 'Em All, released July 25, I'm pretty sure, 1983. Going straight into it, I can tell you immediately that my favorite song of this one is No Remorse. I don't know why, I just have always loved that song. Maybe it's the chorus, maybe it's the main riff, I don't know, but there's just something about it that I find incredibly catchy, and it's just it's a deep cut that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. You know, it's definitely not played live these days. It was obviously part of their set way back when. But yeah, other than that, I just love that song so much. While there are other great songs on here, don't get me wrong, I've just always got a soft spot for No Remorse. My least favorite, up until probably, up until Friday, I was gonna say Metal Militia until a mate of mine played it for me and he was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, you're right. That one is pretty amazing. It's pretty shred-like and it's pretty hardcore thrash. It's a bit like Whiplash." But going off that, I think I'm gonna go with possibly Motor Breath, my least favorite. Doesn't mean it's a bad song, don't get me wrong. These first 4 or 5 Metallica albums, you know, they're all god tier anyway. So something has to go at the bottom. I think it's gonna be Motor Breath. While it's still a great song, don't get me wrong, but it's just not one that let's just say I don't have it on my shuffle. You know, it's fun, don't get me wrong, but like, yeah, something has to go at the bottom. I would rather listen to Anesthesia Pulling Teeth than Motor Breath, but yeah, that's just what it is. So yeah, Motor Breath and No Remorse, favorites, least favorites. Coming up next, obviously, Ride the Lightning from the next year, 1984. This was released July 27th. I remember that because they're 2 days apart, 1984. This album was obviously a benchmark in thrash and in metal, full stop. So again, it's an 8 out of 8 album. No songs on here are bad. However, there's obviously one that's bad. My favorite though has to be Creeping Death. Everything about that song, from the studio versions to the live onslaughts when they do it in the 80s, even to when they're playing it today where it's a tiny bit slower, but obviously with the crowd going in with the whole die, die, die part. The solo is amazing. The breakdown section is just great. The riff on it is awesome because it's amazing how it's just one note, but it's incredibly melodic. Well, bam, ba, bam, bam, ba, bam, ba, la, la, la. You know, it's just got that little tail at the end. It's all an E note apart from that. So it's just amazing how they can make a riff that's one note. So, you know, captivating. But yeah, it's fun to play, it's fast to play, it's great to get your alternate, well, not even that, to get your down picking down. You know, it's honestly a fun album. It's a fantastic song. I don't need to go on about it. But obviously the least favorite on this one, I was gonna say Fade to Black, but I was like, oh wait, nah, it's Escape. Yeah, I know, it's just the weakest song on the album, don't get me wrong. While it's catchy enough and it's okay, it's definitely out of place and a bit simple compared to everything else that's on the album. I don't have to go through what's on the album, we all know, but yeah. Trapped Under Ice and Escape are 2 filler songs, but Trapped Under Ice is honestly amazing. I've always loved that song, but yeah, Escape is the weakest. So yeah, what have we got? We've got Creeping Death and Escape. Right, moving on 2 years now, Master of Puppets, 1986, one of the best albums of all time, one of the best thrash metal albums of all time, easily. Let's just get straight into it. If you know anything about me, you'll know that my favorite off this album is Disposable Heroes. I'll say it once, I'll say it again, should have been the title track, I reckon. Disposable Heroes is an amazing song because it's 8 minutes of just pure Armageddon thrash, you know what I mean? Yeah, while the title track Puppets is an amazing song as well, it's got a lot more diversity in it. You know, there's tempo changes, well, there's tempo changes throughout the whole thing, but like there's clean parts as well. There's 2 solos in that one, whereas in Disposable there's just one massive shred solo, which is great anyway. But honestly, hearing Disposable every time it comes on, I'm just like, oh, just that riff in itself, it's insane. You know what I mean? It's 8.5 minutes, just like Puppets, of brutal metal thrash. It's so much fun. Everything about that song is just perfect. My least favorite on here is probably Sanitarium, just because something has to go at the bottom. I did a video not too long ago where I ranked all the tracks in order from least favorite to favorite, and Sanitarium was at the bottom. While it's a fine song, don't get me wrong, but just in the grand scheme of how heavy and brutal Puppets is as an album, you hear the song Sanitarium and you're just like, oh, it's a bit slow. But obviously it follows the same vein as Ride the Lightning, with they all follow the exact, it follows the exact same structure more or less. but like it's not so acoustic, obviously it's just clean picked, but like it's still great. Sanitarium, it just comes in behind because everything else on here is just great. Battery is amazing. Thing that should not be is disgusting. You know, Leopard Messiah and Damage Inc, they're great, and Orion is a fantastic instrumental. So yeah, when you're putting it up against all those other amazing songs, you can't help but put it at the bottom. So yeah, Disposable, title track, and Disposable Heroes should have been the title track is what I mean to say. Disposable and Sanitarium, favorite, least favorite. All right, moving on, 1988, we get the progressive beast, we get And Justice for All. This came out September 7th, I think, September 8th, one of those, 1988. This album marked a massive shift in the band. We all know that. Cliff was dead, Jason is born. There's no bass on here, but we still love this album no matter what. Straight into it, my favorite song on here is Frayed Ends of Sanity. Underrated masterpiece, that one. It says here that it's 7 minutes 41. Perfect, just absolutely fantastic. Everything from the Wizard of Oz opening to that picked, just to the verse, to the verses, Never Hunger. The chorus is great, and then that picked riff in the middle. And I had an argument with a mate at work arguing about that riff. I was like, do you hear, is it just 3 notes? Or is it like so fast that it's like, and he's like, I think it's just 3. I was like, do you not hear like a quick triplet in there before the triplet? Anyway, yeah, guitar talk. Favorite on here, Frayed Ends of Sanity. Least favorite on here, I'm going for Eye of the Beholder. While it's great and headbangy and riffy and chuggy, it's just that. It's just a blockhead type headbang song. Do you see what I see? You know, chorus is fine. The solo is fun. I will give you that. Wow, 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 wow. You know, whammy festing. It's all good fun. But yeah, it's a bit simple compared to the rest of the album. Blackened and Justice 1. Shortest Straw, To Live Is To Die, Dies Eve. Like, again, it's a stacked album. Do you know what I mean? It's fantastic stuff. But yeah, Eye of the Beholder just seems a bit simple in the middle of it all. So yeah, Frayed Ends and Eye of the Beholder. Now we get into the fun period. Black Album, 1991, August 12th, pretty sure. Weirdly enough, I was listening to this album this morning, just to really hone in which one was the least favorite. I knew what my favorite was off there, and I'm going for The God That Failed. Honestly, love that song. It was the first Metallica song that I heard that wasn't Sandman that made me go, oh, that's different. It's heavy and it's bouncy and it's, you know, I loved it. I thought it was cool. So from that point on, I was like, huh, maybe there is more to this band. And then we went down the thrash route. But yeah, great song. While I love that one, my least favorite on here is probably Misery, My Friend in Misery, because again, like And Justice and Puppets and Lightning, it's a stacked album, you can't deny. Like, yes, there's a lot of radio-friendly hits on here, but good God, come on, man. I think I established today that Wherever I May Roam is my favorite Metallica single. It's great. I love that song so much. I learned that today. Yeah, we don't need to talk about what else is on here, but yeah, My Friend in Misery, it's just, while it's good, it just feels like it's a bit of a filler song, do you know what I mean? Which is funny, because most people would probably say things like Don't Tread on Me and Through the Never are filler, but I was like, nah, they're great. Through the Never's riff is just dun 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 dun. Don't Tread on Me has that swing time feel almost. It's great stuff, yeah. Holier Than Thou, you know, it's real typical Black album sounding. But yeah, The Struggle Within is probably the fastest song on the album, and that one's great as well. So yeah, I'm going to put My Friend in Misery as my least favorite on this album. While it's still good and it's jammable, yeah, something has to go last day. So yeah, we're going for God Failed and My Friend in Misery. All right, enter country. Load, 1996, I think, June 3rd, off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure. This album, I've said it, well, have I said it before? I don't know. Oh, I recently did a video where I combined Load and Reload's best songs and called it Loaded. If you're interested in that, if you're interested in me talking about that, see which one's my favorites, go look at that. It's good fun. My favorite on here is probably the underrated epic, you could call it, Bleeding Me. Just beautiful stuff, honestly. This album is underrated as a whole. Like, it's great. If you're not in the mood for hard Metallica thrash stuff, this is the album to go to. Do you know what I mean? While it shocked everybody when it came out, yeah, sure, that was 30 years ago now, nearly. Move on. You know, it's blues, hard rock, just countrified southern style. Do you know what I mean? It's great fun. I think it's great. It's a long album, but goddamn, it's actually really good. So yeah, I'm going for Bleeding Me. There could have been a few here that I picked as my favorite, but I've landed on Bleeding Me. It's a fantastic song. My least favorite of here is a song that I have shat on in the past, and I'm saying Hero of the Day. I've never liked that song. I don't know why. Maybe just because I just don't like how it sounds. You know, the video is weird, and yeah, whenever I hear it, I just think, oh, turn it off and skip it. I've never liked Hero of the Day, so unfortunately, that's my least favorite off here. We're going for Bleeding Me and Hero of the Day from Load. Now we're getting fun. Reload, 1998. I don't know when this came out off the top of my head. I'm sorry. My favorite of this one, going off this, let's have a look. The tracks are in the middle here. Let me just have a quick scan of the tracks here. Where are they? Over here. What have we got here? Fuel, Memory, Devil, Unforgiven, Better Than, Yo, Wild Things, Prince Giant. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go for. While Fuel is great, as is Unforgiven too, you can't help but kind of steer away from them because you hear them so much. I'm going for the what's the word? I'm going for the what do you call it? Underrated. I'm going for Where the Wild Things Are. I love that song. That made its way onto my Loaded video, and I just think that's great. Soldiers off to war, however it goes, you know the one. On here as my least favorite, I might go for Attitude, maybe Fixer, or maybe Slither. There's quite a lot on here that I don't like, to be honest. So yeah, let's just lock in Attitude because yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that one's bad, as is Fixer as well. And so yeah, but then a lot of people don't like Carpe Diem either. So you, like I say, not my favorite album. So there's quite a bit on there that I don't like, but I'll just lock in Attitude for fun. So yeah, my least favorites on there are, my favorite and least favorite are Wild Things and Attitude from Reload. Now I don't actually physically own this album, which doesn't bother me. Saint Anger from 2003, June 1st. I think this one came out June 1st or June 6th. One or the other. 2003. My favorite song off this one is probably not the title track. I'm gonna go for Frantic, to be honest. I quite like Frantic. I can handle Frantic. Do you know what I mean? I guess it stems from the meme of, like, you know, how bad the album is and my lifestyle determining the death style. Frantic, tick, 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 tock. It's so dumb that it's kind of good. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the best album at all, God no, but I don't mind Frantic. Frantic's on my shuffle. You know, I could handle Some Kind of Monster, and I can handle All Within My Hands. That one's great as well. And The Unnamed Feeling, that was a good song too. But yeah, if I stay to my two, I think I like Frantic the most. And my least favorite is probably all of ours, Purify. Just stupid song. Purify! You know, it's just, wow, Purify, you and I, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, nah. Not for me. So yeah, we don't really need to linger on that. So yeah, Saint Anger, Frantic, and Purify. 2008, Death Magnetic. Great album. Production is questionable, don't get me wrong, but like, great comeback album. We finally get Robert Trujillo on this album. And off the basis, going off the track listing, I'll say, I'm literally gonna claim that the opening song is my favorite. That Was Just Your Life. I've always loved that song. When I first heard the record, I was like, that's how you open an album. That's a great, great opening song. It's got like an Enter Sandman type riff, I know, but like, it's the gallop that gets me. It's just so good. Great chorus, fun solos, fun to play as well. I think that's great. And while this album too is semi-stacked of great songs, there are a few stinkers, like Suicide and Redemption isn't their best instrumental, but well, is it their worst? Probably. Do you know what I mean? Compared to everything else in the classic album. But that's not the least favorite. I would probably say, oh God, is it Cyanide? It might be Cyanide just because it sits in the middle. It's kind of filler. It's in between two great songs, in my opinion. All Nightmare Long is great. Tiny bit overrated, in my opinion. Like, that's good. I don't claim it to be like the best song on the album at all, but it's okay. And then you get the Unforgiven 3. That one's cool. Yes, it's a bit weird compared to the Unforgivens 1 and 2, but 3 is great as its own song. You gotta love it. Judas Kiss is awesome, obviously. Day That Ever Comes, yeah, it's great. I love that one. But yeah, Broken, Beaten, Scarred. What doesn't kill you makes you more strong. Good song. But yeah, great album. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. Yeah, so we're locking in, what did I say? That Was Just Your Life, and the other one, and Cyanide. The Big Dog. We got Hardwired, Self-Destruct. And when I say big dog, it's because it's in a big box. This one came out November, I'm going to say 18th. 2016 or November 16, 2016, one or the other. Great album. This one has a big fondness on me. It's my partner's favorite album and she plays it all the time, so naturally it grew on me over time. My favorite on here is probably the final song, Spit Out the Bone. Just onslaught, man. After hearing what we've heard lately, when you hear, when you just hear it, you're just like, oh, stop it, here we go. But like a bit like the others, this one's semi-stacked with good ones too. Like especially on side 2, they're all a bit underrated in my opinion. No one talks about them, eh? Like Confusion, Dream No More, Here Comes Revenge, Man Unkind is great as well. But yeah, obviously Hardwired, Atlas, Rise, Now That We're Dead, Moth into Flame, Halo on Fire, Am I Savage? Just, it's a good album, it really is. But if I had to choose one that was my least favorite, it was the one that I didn't mention, and that is unfortunately Murder One. I'm sorry, Lemmy, but their tribute song to you was not that good. The only thing good about it is the video, but that's about it. Yeah, it's not their best song. So unfortunately, that's the way it is. But yeah, it's a stacked album. If you shat on it because it's 21st century Metallica, I highly recommend you go back to it. So yeah, Spit Out the Bone and Murder One from Hardwired. And then the last one, their most recent, 72 Seasons from 2023, April 14 this came out. The only way I remember that is because it came out the same day as Iron Maiden's debut, April 14. Not their best work. I won't lie to you. Hardwired, in my opinion, is a lot better than this album, but that's just me. The album cover is a bit dumb. The yellow is weird. There's no... If they had, like, their massive black word, like, you know, the name right there, it might look a tiny bit better, but instead they've just gone with the classic, you know, M. Weird. My favorite song on here is Crown of Barbed Wire. I love that song. When I first heard that, when they were releasing all the songs at first, I was like, this one's cool. I really liked that one. That one really got played a lot when this album came out. And then my least favorite is If Darkness Had a Sun. Just immediately from the intro, I knew that this song was going to be bland. You know, it's like, bro, you have more drums than a snare, use them. But whatever, he's making more money than me. But yeah, it's just a boring, bland song. I don't like it at all. But this album is semi-stacked, again, with coolish songs. If you can accept that Metallica aren't going to write Master of Puppets again, this is fine to listen to. Do you know what I mean? While the solos do get a bit samey, it's now about the riffs. Like, honestly, Metallica are a riff band, not a solo band. So, yeah. 72 Seasons sounds a lot like Pump It from, well, the intro does. Sounds like Pump It from the Black Eyed Peas, but it's all right. Screaming Suicide is fun. You Must Burn, Luxa Turner, good stuff. Chasing Light, Too Far Gone, Room of Mirrors. Honestly, it's a good album. It's okay. It's not amazing, but it's all right. So, yeah, we're going to lock in. What did I say? Crown of Barbed Wire and If Darkness Had a Sun from 72 Seasons. Sweet ass team, there we go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I sit here and take you through my favorite and least favorite songs from each and every Metallica album. That was fun to do. I had semi-planned for this, but I haven't planned for Reload. I forgot all about that one, so that was interesting. Yeah, like I said at the start, comment down below what your favorites and least favorites are, and we'll have a conversation going, and it will be good fun. Hit the subscribe button if you like heavy metal and like hanging out with people like me who love talking about metal. But you don't have to. It's all good. Keep an eye out for the next video. Christ knows when it will be. But until that happens, everybody, stay inside, stay safe, jam some metal, and I'll see you all in the next video. See you later.